and welcome back to 365 Days with mxmtoon. I'm Maia, a singer, songwriter, video maker, Oakland native, and a sci-fi lover. I'm also a big history nerd, as I have told you a lot of times. I love untold stories, gross facts, hidden secrets, anything weird, dark, and funky from the past. So, as you know, each day I'm going to share some of my favorite deep cuts with you. So let's dig into today's stories with a trigger warning-free short mention of the presidential assassination from yesterday's show.
It's 365 with mxmtoon. New facts every day, so don't leave too soon. I'm gonna teach you stuff, no it won't be tough. Gonna go a year till you've had enough. It's 365 mxmtoon.
Today, in 1963, Doctor Who premiered on the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. BBC is so popular that 1 in 16 adults across the world watch BBC News. The British science fiction show has gone through 13 different doctors and is now the longest-running science fiction television show in the world. At its core, Doctor Who is the story of an almost human, kinda alien, traveling through space and time to solve problems facing people in need throughout history, with an array of companions. The man-human alien is from a specific type of being called the Time Lords, from the planet Gallifrey. He travels in a police box called a TARDIS, which stands for time and relative dimensions in space, and basically functions as a time machine. Though police boxes aren't a common sight in America today, they were a regular fixture in Britain when the series premiered. While time traveling, the Doctor and his companions use tools like the sonic screwdriver to alter time and motivations of historical villains to try and help humanity. The ideas behind the show were a little academic. They wanted the idea of the Doctor traveling through time in the show to be an entryway into discussing big moments in history. Sounds like a fabulous idea to me. Very inspirational. Although Doctor Who is touted as a science fiction show because of its time travel conceit, and the individual episodes of the series run the gamut between drama to action and adventure to horror and comedy. Let's reverse and zoom in to the premiere itself, though. As we talked about yesterday, the world was reeling on November 23rd, 1963, from John F. Kennedy's assassination on November 22nd. Doctor Who ended up premiering 80 seconds late because news coverage of the assassination continued on overtime. The series producer convinced the BBC to rerun the premiere before the second episode the next week so that people who hadn't watched because of the Kennedy assassination could catch up. It worked, and 6 million people ended up watching the first 4-part serial. The pilot of the show was called An Unearthly Child. The first Doctor was played by William Hartnell, and Carol Ann Ford played his granddaughter, Susan. Hartnell wasn't at first intrigued by the idea of the role, thinking it was going to be a silly children's show, but in the end, he was happy to take on a role that helped move him towards whimsy and away from his rough and tumble, grisly man stereotype. Though the idea of the Doctor regenerating is now integral to the show, it wasn't a part of the series upon first conception. It ended up working out, though, because Hartnell actually ended up becoming ill, and it was a useful way to change the actor playing the Doctor. Patrick Troughton took over the role in 1966. The show kept the concept going with the idea of the Doctor regenerating into a new body when the old one became too damaged. The John F. Kennedy assassination that coincidentally conflicted with the beginning of the series was eventually referenced on Doctor Who 25 years later. The Seventh Doctor revealed that he had released an artifact into the universe that returns to Earth every 25 years and triggers a tragic event. He realized that in 1963, the event was the death of President Kennedy. The show was canceled in 1989 during a decline in viewership and ratings, but it wouldn't stay gone forever. A movie premiered in the meantime, as well as comic books and novels. The show officially came back in 2005. The show picked up where it had left off in 1989. In 2005, the Kennedy assassination came up on the show once again. The show had just relaunched, and in the premiere, the Ninth Doctor is shown observing the Dallas motorcade moments before Kennedy's assassination. The scene was even more realistic than you'd realize. The Ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston's face, was photoshopped into a real photograph from the day of the shooting. Doctor Who holds the Guinness World Record, shout out to a recent pod topic, as the longest-running science fiction series in history. It won the British Academy Television Award in 2006. In the time since the show premiered, the Doctor has been portrayed by 13 different actors. The first woman Doctor premiered in 2017. Doctor Who is a frequent reference in British popular culture, and worldwide for fans of sci-fi like you and I. Let's fast forward for our music fact. Today, in 2009, Susan Boyle released her debut album, I Dreamed a Dream. In case you don't know who Susan Boyle is, let's reverse. Boyle was a contestant on season 3 of Britain's Got Talent back in 2009. She shocked the world with her perfect soprano. Boyle wasn't what the public thought of as a typical singer. She was 48 by the time she competed on the show, short and plump, and had more of a matronly look than a typical hot singer. But Boyle quickly proved that talent has nothing to do with looks, and the world fell in love with her humble personality as well as her astonishing vocals. When I Dreamed a Dream was released, it became the UK's best-selling album of all time. It also set a record for first-week sales by a debut album, topped the Billboard 200 for 6 weeks, and was the second best-selling album in 2009 in the United States. She made almost $7 million in her first year of fame. She has since released 5 more albums and returned to the stage of Britain's Got Talent. And now for our final segment of the day, I'm going to be going into my own photo archives to see what I was up to on November 23rd in my life. November 23rd, 2019, I started looking for my first apartment. I got to go apartment searching, hunting with my brother, and one of my managers also helped me out. Shout out to Kirk. But I was really nervous to go because obviously I'm really young. I was searching when I was 19 years old, which is so insane. I've had the privilege to be able to, move into my own place at such a young age. But yeah, I remember that feeling like a very surreal experience. I just couldn't believe that I was looking in New York, of all places, to go and move to. And I'm really fortunate to be in the place that I am now. But that was a really insane moment for me because I've lived with my family my whole life. When I took, I didn't go to college. I was living with my family for a whole year after. So I was literally hanging out in my childhood bedroom for like another year, which is very similar to, what people my age normally do. But I didn't get to go to college where I could even like move into a dorm or anything. So my first steps of kind of moving away from home was looking for my very first apartment to move across the country all the way to New York from California. And that was just like a crazy, crazy thing to happen. And I'm really happy here. I really love New York. I have 2 places now. I've got an office alongside my place that I live and sleep and also, eat. So life is very crazy. I'm very lucky and very privileged to be in the position I am now. But that was a big moment for me. And that's all for today. Let's travel back in time again tomorrow. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can follow along at 365 Days mxmtoon on all platforms.
It's 365 with mxmtoon. New facts every day, so don't leave too soon. I'm gonna teach you stuff, no it won't be tough. Gonna go a year till you